The moisture. And I just scooped down and got a little box battery, a volt and a half box battery, things like that, dry stuff. And the next thing is,
Don't forget to sign in.
Sign in, please.
In the back. Plus, there will be a door prize, so don't forget to take your ticket. And keep one half and put the other half in the box back there. Oh, yes, the caps and shirts are for sale. We have them over here. I believe that the shirts are 20 and the caps are 16. They come anywhere from small to extra large. And the caps are universal, one size fits all.
Oh, I'm in your way there. Me get out of your way.
good line.
I probably have to class because I might not do
Find anything in there? Spaghetti? Spaghetti? Let me give you this for the Zoom bill.
Number 4, not number 5.
The only one I'm looking for.
This is for what?
Zoom.
But the only site I'd ever wanted that.
What? Software?
To use Zoom, we got the Pro program, which is nice. Plus, I bought some memory.
In other words, it's an
Annual thing.
use fee or something.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
$273 or something like that. So it'll be less next year. So this year was because
way of writing up invoices, but
it's
these are all different items.
yeah. And then
This is cloud recording, $103. $10 for the same thing again.
that's for the first 30. So the first 30 is only $10. And then it's $154.
59 for.
That's just the membership. So it's
So every year we're paying about that much.
yeah. This year is going to be a little higher than next year. They raised the rates.
So the total is $273.40 for Zoom.
Yeah.
Now, what about the phone charges?
That'll be next month. Yeah, it'll be every 6 months. I've been doing that.
I'd like to
So
call the meeting to
I
order.
thought you were doing it. Calendar year.
May 11th,
I've been doing it every 6 months. So
NWVR
it's a big
meeting.
chunk. It's
Okay,
$40.
so
Would you please
It's
all
every
stand
6
for the
months,
pledge
starting
of
in
allegiance?
January.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Okay. So that's cool.
I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Amen.
Amen. Okay. All right. So, do we have any new members or any guests? Yes, please. Could you stand up and tell us your name?
My name is Steve Rose, live in Gresham, my first meeting.
Okay, welcome.
Ask him what he collects.
Yes, Steve, what do you collect? Console radios?
Yeah, and some tabletop, mostly vintage ham equipment.
Okay, great. And just to let you know, the first 6 items in our auctions were donated to the club line, Steve. So thank you very much. Do we have any other new members of guests? No, okay, all right. Do we have, next up, any health and welfare?
Yes. Our club member, Robbie Robinson, is not here today because his sister passed away last night. He wanted to let everybody know he would like to be here, but his family circumstances didn't allow it, so
Yes.
My wife Diane, and your thoughts, she is undergoing radiation treatment for breast cancer.
Oh.
3 more weeks.
Is there anyone else for health and welfare? Bill, it's good to see you.
I got good news. Since I've been doing so good lately, they extended my infusion time, so I'll be only having infusions every once a month instead of every 3 weeks. So that's a good sign. That's the first time in several years that it's gotten better. So
Okay, wonderful. Okay, if there isn't any more health and welfare, we'll go to the secretary's minutes. They are posted
pups.
in the call letter. Do we have anyone who wishes to have them read here? Okay, good. Do we have a motion to approve those as written?
Second.
All in favor? Okay, it's carried. Next up, we would have the treasurer's report, but maybe we can delay that for next. Okay, everything is fine. Everything is wonderful. So, we're adding a new category, and that is for the ham radio. So, do we have any input for this month? Okay, all right, so no shows, nothing comes. What is the next? You know? June. Okay, CPAC, so that's in June. Well, that's basically next month, so we always want to get it a month ahead of time. Okay, will it be before the second Saturday of June? Because we won't meet until then. So we probably would want to announce it today, just to be a month ahead. Okay, we'll get back to that in a second, so. We have leads and needs. Is there any leads or needs? Yes, Blake.
It's going to a large quantity, 20 gauge transit, cotton covered wire. The old impregnated kind that doesn't slide back. If anybody is interested in that, I will sell it at a very reasonable rate, like 1,500 feet.
Okay, insulated 20 gauge wire, old style. See Blake.
Any particular color?
Black. It's Henry Ford.
Okay, so for leads and needs, I think this belongs to the person who bought the mantle radio. Are you missing one of the knobs? Okay, at the auction day, did you buy a radio and it's missing one knob? Who would like this free knob? Okay. All right, so we do have this that was left here for leads and needs. Does anyone recognize?
What size is it?
Thank you, sir.
Large. It's a large sweater. Is it yours? Okay.
Yeah, that looks.
CPAC is coming up May 31st.
Oh.
CPAC.
That's 3 weeks away, CPAC.
Okay, CPAC, 3 weeks away, May 31st. Which you're all informed, right? So that starts on Friday. Okay, so good. Got it just in time. Are there any other leads and needs? Okay, we can skip forward to the old business. So is Bill Holman here? Okay, all right. So basically, there was the first NWVRS open home at his house in Vancouver. And I believe it was a pretty good success. There were like a dozen people and there were refreshments and appetizers there. Was anyone else there that would like to give a comment on that? No one else wants to comment? I was there. It was a lot of fun. It's Bill has a really great, fantastic collection. If you didn't know, you missed it, so. Yes. Do you have any comments? Very nice. So we need volunteers for the next open home. We're looking for someone to continue this tradition that we've done years past. So think about it. We want people to come over to your house, look at your collection, shoot the breeze. Oh, don't forget to ask your wives first. So we need the next volunteer. Otherwise, we'll just have to assign it a week to you. Okay, other old business, the Cedar estate sale.
All right, for all you guys who are interested in the Basitas estate sale, let me bring you up to date. The last sale was really good, really successful. They moved basically about half of the old radios, the ham-related military radios, and a lot of test equipment out of there that day. All right, so what remains? Some of it is being donated to various organizations. There was a lot of tech equipment, and when they started taking that stuff to the local, I think they might have taken it to Free Geek or someplace. They redirected them to somebody who really had an interest in it. And in fact, that stuff is being sorted and assigned to all kinds of agencies. If Damon has indicated he's interested in taking some of the equipment, I will pass that along to the Basitas. If you have purchased a radio from the Basitas and you are missing parts, please know that I went through on the request of several people to look through what was there last week and was unable to find any of the parts. There is, however, a closet in a bedroom that is literally floor to ceiling full of boxes of stuff that they've not sorted yet. I don't think it's gonna have a ton of radios, but it could be boxes of parts related to radios that may have been purchased by club members. I will again try to get in there before the sale. And for those people who have written me and specifically asked me to look for stuff, I will do it again. The next Basita sale will be in June. The one that might have occurred this month, there's a wedding in the family. Family indicated they just didn't have the bandwidth to do it this month. It will be mid-month to late June. And what remains there are a bunch of console radios, some table radios, some test equipment, some military stuff. And just in general, the things he used to do his repair work. So there'll be wire and tools and things like that at this last sale, yeah.
Are you gonna sell the clocks?
I think they may have the clocks up for sale. I know that there's a clock collecting club. I kind of directed them to that. But I do think club members will get a chance to indicate their interest. The sale, this next sale is not going to be a blind bid sale. It may be that they assign a value to things, or you may just basically take it to them and offer it to them. If you are one of the people who believes that you need parts for your radio, and I do not have them, or I told you that I could not find them, it would be worth being there early that day, the day of the next sale, to make sure that you get a chance to go through what's there. It'll all be out. I've got a set of old eyes. I might miss something, but I will try my best to get there before everybody else and look the things over for those people who specifically requested parts.
Okay, thanks. Next up is the Don Meyer estate sale. How many of you went to that? Oh, did you have a good time? Did you pick up some good deals? Okay, we want to thank Tom and Christian Lee, the new Tom, and Dan, for all the help in getting this done. There was a lot of work. It wasn't better executed because basically the estate said, come in, take the stuff, otherwise it's gonna be trashed, and they have to sell a house. So we had a very limited time to get the items together and stage that, so I'm sorry, normally we like to have the pictures and all of the manifests done 1 week ahead of time, but because of the time, we were not able to as well. Oh, and sorry, Mike Fairview as well, thanks very much for your help, transportation, you know, all that, and this kind of stuff wouldn't happen unless it was for the volunteers to help out. So I wanna thank you guys for that. Yes, Blake.
If any of you were friends of Don and would like to visit with him, he's still alive and fine, let me know, I do have the same.
Okay, do you know where facility he's staying at now?
Something.
Okay, Forrest.
I got the information.
Okay, great. See, Blake, if you wanna go ahead and visit with Don. And don't forget to thank him for his generosity. So is there any other old? Oh, no, let's go. I'm trying to finish up the old business. Any other old business people wanna bring up? Old business. Nothing else? Oh, by the way, the foundation is still going on. They're gonna have a sale here one of these weekends, and they're trying to raise money for the foundation work. And that's why we've not been able to get the memorial bench. Because that work hasn't been finished yet. So next up is new business. You wanna go? It's yell. Did it die again?
No, it's not dead.
Wiggle the cable, wiggle the input cable. Yes,
Yeah, change volume.
can you turn up the one?
I turned it down, it was still bad. That's awesome.
Well, that's the one coming up.
Alright. I'm curious, how many of you are interested in getting name tags? All right, that's enough people to make it worth our time. We'll figure out when and how to do that. I'll have something for you at the next meeting. Yes.
If you have a bad connection at the XLR connector on the input of that tower, if you want me to look at it sometime, let me know.
Yes, can you look at it today?
Used to have an engineer in the house.
Yeah, all right, we've been plagued with problems.
Every year at the, Mike, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, are we gonna get a report? Swap meet in April?
Last month.
Yeah, last month, the swap meet in Aurora.
I'll talk about it a little bit.
Okay, great.
All right, we filled the house last month. We literally had as many tables as we probably could have sold and kept track of. It was a very successful sale. Pretty much everybody told me that they thought we had done as good a job as we could have done. So thanks for everybody that came and helped out. Thanks for everybody that came and sold. We're looking forward to the next one in September. Is that right, Todd?
Yes.
And I will start notifying everybody. There are some things I'd like to change about it. The sale is getting to be more than one person can handle. I'm gonna ask at some point in time if somebody would volunteer to do some of the work, both at the sale and maybe going up to it, but it should be good in September as well. The trash bash. I wanted to bring this up and let everybody here kind of have some idea. We have traditionally done pizza at the trash bash. How do you guys feel as a group about having pizza at the trash bash?
I like pizza.
All right. Can I have a show of hands? How many of you think that we should have pizza at the trash bash? Show of hands, please. All right.
Okay. Okay. Right. More new business. July 20th is the picnic in Chehalis. We need some people to volunteer to kind of watch over and take charge of that. Do we have anyone who wants to help out? Do things like pick up hamburger, hot dog, buns. Create a list for people to, remember it's a potluck, to bring items. We need help. How about, we need a chef too. We need somebody who cook all the stuff at the in Chehalis.
I'll pick up the stuff.
Oh, well, thank you. You'll pick up this stuff. Wonderful. We still need a chef. I'll give that person a ride. Okay.
Derek's gonna do it.
Derek is gonna do it this year. Okay, wonderful. Okay.
When is that, Pat?
It's July 20th. The time is 9 to 1 in Chehalis at Farrell Field. We've been doing this for what, 3 years now? And it's been pretty successful. It's done in combination with PSARA. So the Seattle Club also is part of this. Yes, Mike.
Yeah, I was just gonna say thanks to Sonny and for getting the flyers out for that event. I took one, printed it off and mailed it up to Fletcher to let him know and remind him about when the date was and all that stuff. So
And
we're good to go.
And Brian is printing some flyers back there, so they're free to take. Okay, thanks so much. All right. So the Abernathy Grange here needs help. It's basically 9 AM on May 30th and June 1st. So it's one day off, one day on. And you're supposed to meet here and the work starts. Basically, they just need cleanup. Raking, picking things up, tidying up. So they're looking for volunteers to come here and help out. And hopefully somebody would consider that we do get a really good rate here. And anything we can do to save them money by having a work crew that they don't have to pay would be much appreciated. So, do we have any other new business? Yes.
So the repair Clark County, the next event will be June 29th. And the vintage radio section is really appreciated. You guys do a great job. If we could get other volunteers, I know like, I think Blake, Mike were there before in the past. If we could get some people to help out doing repairs, I know you would appreciate it.
Yeah.
And it's June 29th in Vancouver from, basically it's from 9 to 1-ish.
Do you know where it's at? What?
Yeah, it's at the, Vancouver, the Cascade Park Library. And I'll send Pat all that. I'll put it in the Google groups. I'll send that out.
Oh, Kathy.
Okay, wonderful. Okay, thanks. Any other? Thanks. Any other new business?
I gotta,
Oh, okay.
so I think I could just, oh. So, me and Lee were talking about like having a off, once a week meeting, just like coffee, just some guys getting together. And he suggests, we haven't even picked a date or a time yet, but we think that we'd like for everyone just to come and have coffee at a restaurant. We think in Bob's Red Mill is, do you know the address to that? It's just off the Milwaukee Expressway. So we were thinking like once a week, maybe something like 7 to 8 or 7 to 9 or whenever you guys want to do it. It's just they get together. It's not really going to be that associated with the club, but like that, where you like to invite all the club members to come together and do something once a week. A lot of times we meet somewhere else and stuff. It won't be Wednesdays because that might be the thing. But I was thinking like 7 to 9 or 7 to 8, whatever. Just to really. But anyway, something like that where we can get together and just talk or something to be more social. But anyway, that's something we were thinking of. If you guys have any suggestions about time or days, wait, later?
I never go anywhere at 7 if I can avoid it.
7 PM? How about 7 PM? That. Oh, it might not be open that late. Okay.
That's why I thought you were talking about 7 in the morning.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because they usually, yeah, so,
Bob's Red Mill does not, it serves breakfast and lunch.
oh, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, they got rid of dinner, didn't they?
Long time.
Yeah. So anyway, some suggestions. I was thinking that I think everybody would like just to get together. I know we kind of meet each other's informally, I guess it is. You know, for parts or whatever. So I think it might be something that we'd like to do. Anyway, any suggestions? Just let me know.
Okay, great, thanks. Okay, I'm reminded that Jerry Hotel is tracking membership. And for the month of April, we have officially over 200 members. And I believe that's the first time in history, right?
First time in history, wow.
Any other new business people want to bring up? Yes, David?
Question, I haven't heard anything about the 75th anniversary, get together lunch and dinner thing.
The
50th.
Well, we'll talk about that another
25 years. 50th anniversary, Damon, 50.
Oh, okay. So from what I understand, Dick Carvin has picked a date for this event, but not the venue or anything like that. So it's pretty much open in the air. Nothing has been reserved. So from what I gather, we had a survey and most people wanted to have some kind of a dinner provided by the society for members and their family to attend. So that's what the number one thing that people wanted for the 50-year anniversary. We don't have a place, we don't have a date, we don't have a time, and we do not have a committee. So if you would like to volunteer and head that up, that would be great. But the society, the club will fund it, so the members do not have to bring anything. They would just have to show up, but we also may want to kind of have some kind of insurance policy. Because if we fund this for 50 people and pay the restaurant and 10% of people don't show up or whatever, that's going to be kind of bad because it's basically money we would lose.
You need to make sure. So if you don't respond, don't show up. It's one of those things you need to make sure invitations are in either on the Google groups.
RSVP.
Yeah, they have to RSVP and commit to it.
But we do have that. A lot of times we do have people sign up, they'll say that, but then they just don't sign up or come because it's no.
If you don't show, go to the club tomorrow. You need to make sure if the club is gonna put the money out and you choose to not, you say you're gonna go and you choose to not go, but you're interested, then you should be on the list of the house. That doesn't.
Would you like to be on a committee? You know, it could be something where maybe the members are charged $10 or something, and they'll get the money back, but we just need to make sure. Huh? Good idea, we just need to make sure that people will show up, because it's gonna cost the club probably $40 a head. I mean, it's gonna be expensive, it's not gonna be cheap. And for someone to say they'll attend with 4 people and then not show up, the club is going to pay for it. And the member that doesn't show up with their family, you know, I mean, of course, it's nothing to them because they didn't pay anything. So we have to consider, we need some way to ensure people are gonna show up if they say they're gonna attend. Okay, well, we can do something like that, but we do need people, a members, committee for the Christmas club. I see you laughing, Mike. Do you need another committee to be on?
Well, no.
Okay. Okay, sorry. All righty, so that's it, then we could go ahead and move to the monthly feature.
Please respect the speakers and keep your conversations outside. So what we're going to start today, this month is wood radios. So, and restored wood radios, kind of the thing we're going to do. So here's Pat's the first one.
Okay, I got this at one of the PSARA meetings, and I think I paid a couple bucks for it. I have pictures of it, what it looked like beforehand, and I thought I don't know why I did this, for this radio, because there was a lot of work done to this to get it to the shape it is. Of course, it's not perfect, but it's a lot better than when it started out. And why I did pick a radio that would be worth a lot more when it's done, because this is just, I think, a model of Crosley 34, or from 1934. It's not very rare or expensive, but when I saw it, I just knew it needed some help. So this is my entry for a wood radio. And most of that I collect plastics, but like I said, I felt sorry for this one. Next up,
Pat,
yes,
how many bands it have? Does it have shortwave or no?
no, I think it's just an AM radio.
Okay.
It's just basically a tuner here and on-off.
How long did it take you to restore it?
Oh, yeah.
Well, this happened over a period of several months. Because of the amount of effort, I have pretty much well documented. Actually, it's not in order, because we took this to another event and the kids went through and they kind of messed it up, so it's it's not in order anymore. So I think Mike McCrow is next up with his beautifully restored radio.
And it did get a lot of attention at Momsey when we had it there.
Okay, yeah, this is my Zenith Model 805. This is one of the few cathedrals that Zenith made. I think they made like 4 or 5, something like that. I believe I picked this up at one of the swap meets. Either I might have even gotten it at Riverdale. I cannot remember. I've had it for a while, and I went through and restored it. It's a 5-tube transformer set, and it's a standard broadcast, and it has a police shortwave band, which is just above AM. And I went through the radio, restored it. It plays very nicely, and then I did all the woodwork, and I did kind of a two-tone here, which is the way the factory had made it on this inner portion here. Really didn't use any stain, but I just let the wood be the natural color of the wood. Seemed to be pretty nice here, and then also on the back part. And then I used lacquer black paint on the lower border here. So, but 1934, and don't know why, but for whatever reason, Zenith just did not make a lot of cathedrals, but this is one of their nicer ones, I think. So anyway, any questions on that? Or it's an 805, Zenith 805.
Well, sure, it's pretty.
So anyway, all right.
How long did it take you to restore it?
Well, I don't know.
How many hours do you have in
I
it?
can't remember. I did this about 2 years ago, and probably about 3 weeks, something like that. Off and on working on it when I was had a chance to get out in my shop. Anyhow, any other questions on it then? So, okay, I'll turn it over to
George.
Is this
George?
George? Is this
Yeah.
you? All right. You want this?
Well,
There
if
you
you
go.
want them to hear me, maybe.
Sure. Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen. Oh, I don't see any ladies. Anyway, this little thing came about. My youth, I did a lot of hiking and camping. And I needed a little radio that I could put in the tent and listen to music. Well, this is a 1-tube radio. It's in the 1L series. It's a 1-volt filament. It is 2 tubes in one. Well, the antenna hooks up here. And the ground, if you need it, also. And this radio, the RF comes in through both tubes. One amplifies, secondly amplifies. and then it's detected. And then it comes back through again for the audio. So it's acting like a 4-tube radio. Now, the thing about this, you can look at the inside if you wish, but it is the first RF coil, the second RF coil, it's our first RF, second RF. So it actually works very well. But the case came to me without its inside. It was a case that they used for surveying, and it had the little surveying mechanism inside it. Well, it was in the Goodwill, and that's a good place to find things from time to time, because the Goodwill doesn't know what they have. Anyway, so I made this many years ago. It works like a charm, and this was its speaker. I was fortunate to find it, and to me, this is the jewel of the radio. I had never seen any of them before. It's new to me. So, any questions? It works like a charm. It's like having a headphone down here and at the bottom, and then a little horn, and it hooks up to the side of this. And everywhere I hike, I could get a radio station, 1 or 2 or so far. Of course, I used to hike up in the mountains, and you have a clear shot at some stuff, so it was of interest. If anyone has any questions.
Yes, we do.
What? What year is it?
What year?
What year did you make it?
Let's see, I haven't hiked for the last 40 years. Yeah. It's all of that.
Right.
Any other questions? Yes.
So is that a reflex? Is that a reflex circuit?
Yes, in the 2 tubes inside this one envelope amplify the antenna input RF. And it goes to the next tube and amplifies it again. Then it goes out to a diode and a capacitor, and it is rectified and turned into audio. Audio then comes back and goes through the 2 tubes again, and the last tube runs also the speaker. So it's 2 tubes and 4 functions.
Right. Wow.
That's what makes it something I've always hung on to, instead of using the case for something else, which I was tempted on several occasions. Any other questions? Yes.
What battery supply do you need?
I can't hear.
How many volts?
What battery did you use?
Oh, 1.5 volt for the filament and 45 volts for the high voltage. It will work up to the 67.5, and that's what it was designed for. But I was cheap, I wouldn't buy one.
How long did it take you to build it? How long did it take you to build it?
I built it in one day. I troubleshooted it for the next week. Any other questions? It was a cute thing to take out and about, and that was what it was designed for. I didn't know what I did with it, but I'm downsizing, and in my computer room is a bed for guests. But I hide all kinds of things underneath it. And this was hid underneath it. I had forgotten about it entirely. And when you said wooden cases, I thought that would be just ducking. I'm done.
Thank you, George.
You don't need a mask. I can hardly
Howard.
understand.
Howard. It's the Howards.
I mean.
All those.
This Troy. Is it, I'm sorry, my voice is really tough shape right now. My wife was a USC fan, and this is a Troy. It's trading in the University of Southern California. And I found it probably chickens, but I'm not sure. It was really in miserable condition. Some of the breeding is gone, and the chassis looked innocent enough, but because of serious family commitments and my lack of skill, I had asked Mike Nico if he would take on the restoration of the cabinet and the guts, which he was really kind to do that. I don't think he realized how bad it was. If you have any questions about the circuitry or anything about it, I think Mike probably get so that you can avoid that. But Mike knows all about it. He and Blake did a lot of work on this chassis. But it's beautiful now, as you can see. The next one, this piano is general telephone and the radio is Dan resurrected it, parts from two of these piano radios. Again, for my wife who was a pianist, and he brought it back. You can see it's a very nice piece, and so those of these were my wife's reviews. So they leave in my room. So I'm going to pass the mic on to Dan for this. It's about the cabin lighting.
When I moved 20 years ago and had a real workshop plan, I decided I'd go ahead and maybe scratch the itch to reproduce some radios that I knew existed, but which were unobtainable to me. And the log cabin is one that I built. Back in the 30s, some companies did produce novelty radios in the shapes of a log cabin, which inspired me. And so I took on the challenge. I suppose the biggest challenge of this particular radio was fitting everything that I needed in the little bitty cabinet. In addition to having a radio chassis in there, I decided that it would be kind of a fun thing to go ahead and put a working chimney on this cabinet. And so the front doorknob here is a momentary switch that starts a solid state timer, which runs a smoking element like out of a Lionel or an American Flyer locomotive. It's not real easy to see here, but let me show you how it works. See if we can get some smoke out of this guy here. It's going there.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, sorry, yeah, anyway, it works, and it's a lot of fun, and it is a functional, AM FM radio. Back in the day, some of you may remember that they produced a novelty radio in sort of a wooden cabinet that looked like a Coca-Cola cooler. It's not the fake one, it's the wooden one. And so I found one of those, like George said, at the Goodwill for a couple of bucks, salvaged the chassis and the speaker, and then came up with an additional power supply to run the smoking unit and the timer. So it opens up like this, so you can tune the radio. And I preserved the clock radio element through the back. And the speaker plays through the windows. I lined the windows with speaker cloth so it could, be heard in all directions. Something that I kind of get out around the holidays, entertain the grandkids, and there you have it. So, anyway, thank you.
Next question.
And, cleverness to me was the smoke. I'd quick, fine, I wouldn't quick and go get a bucket of water to throw. Anyway, it's wonderful.
Yeah, I basically made the entire cabinet from scratch.
Oh, wow.
Starting with like a wooden carcass and then covering it with half round and full round, kind of like Lincoln logs.
Yeah.
Anyway, fun stuff.
Dan, how long did it take you to build it? Oh, wow.
Radio works fine, but the record player, I could never get it to work right. It seems that the bearing is not quite tight enough, and the armature wants to catch on the stator. But anyway, that's my presentation. And by the way, this radio I'm going to put up for sale. Anyone interested can see me after the meeting.
What year is it, Sonny?
That's about 1934. Any questions?
What size record for that? Don't look like
78.
78 will fit in that?
You have to open the top.
So that's 90 years
Standard,
old.
standard 78 record.
That's 90 years old.
Well,
1934.
Mid-30s.
Wow.
Same age I am.
Sonny, how long did it take you to restore it? Oh, okay. Uh-huh. Oh, cool.
Does it play only 78s?
The record player doesn't work.
Oh. It hasn't had Sonny's touch yet.
What was that?
I say it hasn't had Sonny's touch yet.
Well, I tried, but it just won't work. That type of mechanism
Is the
fits
cartridge
very close. The armature of the rotor fits extremely close to the stator, and it wants to catch and bind. So the only thing I can determine is the bearing is slightly worn, which is not acceptable in that type of motor. Very primitive motor. It's a direct drive also.
Good challenge.
Thank you, Sonny. Thank you so much, Sonny.
You mean it only plays 45?
This, I got at an auction and, in one of our auctions, when we had our, sale in North Portland. And, so I got it for about $6, but it was, in pretty sad shape. Can you look at the picture? The front was caved in. And the rest of the set, the insulation on the wires, if you just looked at it, it'd fall off. And yeah, the rubber wire, and it's a Liberty. It says Liberty on the front of it. And reason I got this is because I had a quest to get a cathedral set, and this happened to be in my price range. And so anyway, the work I did on it, of course, when the chassis had about a half inch of dust and dirt on it, it was pretty sad shape. And so I thought, well, maybe I can get this to work. And so first thing I had to do was replace the wiring between the power supply and the speaker, because it was hardly any insulation at all. And so I got that to work. It had wire wound pots in it, and the one for the volume control had wires sticking out all over the place, so it wasn't working very good. So I had to find another pot for it, and it's a 5-tube set, 3-stage TRF, and through and after I looked at it, I was trying to research Liberty, and I could not find any information on Liberty. Thought this is a weird one-off radio. But when I got underneath the chassis and started changing out capacitors and wiring, I looked at the capacitors and scraped some of the dirt off of them, and it said Pilot on it. And it said Pilot Radio and Tube Corporation, Lawrence, Massachusetts. Now, Pilot was originally from New York, and they expanded into Lawrence, Massachusetts until the stock market crashed, and then they went bankrupt. So this set has got to be, it's a Pilot, and I went on Nostalgia Air, and I found a schematic. Oh, I had to make the schematic first, and then I thought, after I found out it's a Pilot, I go, I'll look on Pilot, and I just started going through schematic, and I found one that looked like an engineering drawing on a piece of paper, and they just put it in there, and it matched exactly what I did there. So anyway, it turned out to be this is a Pilot, and it works really well. It's got, for an old TRF, it's got real good sensitivity and selectivity.
What are the numbers of the tubes?
There's 47s, 57, 80. I don't remember all of them, but that's.
I was just curious.
Yeah, the big pin 5.
Dates it early 30s.
Yeah. Well, this has got to be from the 20s, because Pilot went bankrupt about 29.
They resurrected themselves because they made radios and TVs well into the 50s.
Oh, they did?
Yeah, so they must have been resurrected by somebody.
When they went bankrupt, they changed their names, and they weren't Pilot Radio and Tube Corporation anymore. They were Pilot 81 Television, and so that's why I'm thinking. And then when they were in Lawrence, Massachusetts, they closed that plant under the Depression, and then all the capacitors said Lawrence, Massachusetts on it.
Probably two different.
Yeah. So that's what I'm thinking. It's got to be the late 20s.
Not using those tubes. Those tubes didn't come out until the early 30s.
So the early 30s. Okay, that's good to know, because I just had to make a guess, because it's a little bit.
20 radio would have something like 26s and 27s and 25s.
It's a surprise because the case is very attractive.
Well, I had to rebuild the case after I got the radio working. I thought, okay, I can rebuild the case.
You did a good job.
And I had, so the only original parts to this case is the top piece, and of course the base, and these little pillars on the side. And then everything else, I manufactured the face, had to remanufacture that. So you got a piece of plywood, and I had, I thought I had nothing to lose. I thought, $6 and we got it working. So I had spare veneer. So that's why there's some seams. Cause I had little scraps of veneer that I used to veneer the face to try to get it as close to what the original looked like. And then I had to go to wood crafters, and this is the trim on the base is probably some house trim. And I bought that at wood crafters, put down here. So anyway, basically that's what I did in the radio, which is just about everything you can do. Get it going.
Good resurrection.
Yeah, well, I'm happy with it.
How long did it take you?
Sat in my garage for several years before I finally got some time to work on it. Once I started 6-7 months, working on and off and on. And when I started to do the base and everything, it took quite a while. Luckily, a friend gave me a scroll saw because they were moving to Mississippi and didn't want to take it with him. And so just before I decided I could make this case, I used the scroll saw to be able to cut out the speaker part.
Excellent job. Thanks.
So since you found this compared, did that paperwork say anything about how it was? Is it a Liberty model?
Yes, it is. I forgot to bring it. I can't remember the number, but it does have a Liberty model number on it. Yeah, very low number on it. Yeah. But yeah.
So did you ever look it up to see if you find the original picture of it?
I did. I mean, of course, the internet's our biggest source these days. And even after I found the schematic, I could not find anything on the set. It's like they did a one-off. They thought, let's produce this and see what happens and call it something else. And there must be another one somewhere. Yeah. Or more than one, but no information except what I found underneath. Right.
Great job.
Good job.
Good job.
Thank you.
Art's next.
Radio and Mike Parker, if you remember his estate, the D wall, but it's really called, they could call it a tombstone because of the shed roof. Of course, these look like tombstones too, they're cathedrals, but now the roof, the shed roof, we could really call it a Confederate tombstone because, because they had the shed roof was made with a shed so the Yankees could sit on. This is the way we got it from the auction, so it's the way to go. I like, the Confederate tombstone, so they call it that.
What year was it?
Oh, I'd say 1933 or 34, but I actually don't know. I haven't really looked it up. So going by the tubes is before 1935 with 80 or 24A and 45. So it's before the law. Okay.
Let's give a long hand to everybody. Plus, go ahead, Brian. The Pat, you want to vote for?
Yeah,
Okay, go ahead.
So we could just have people come up and.
Okay, we want to do a silent vote for these, I guess is what we're doing. So.
Liberty Radio. Who's that?
Oh, that's Larry.
Larry.
What is his last name?
Yeah. I'll get a pencil.
Sorry, I can't remember. Okay.
Yes.
I have a friend who showed up.
Oh, you want to welcome?
Yeah.
A visitor, a friend I sold tubes to on Craigslist, and he likes old radios. So explain what you collect, Salvador.
Well, first, welcome, Salvador. Welcome, everybody.
Radios, wood radios.
Yeah, old
rock
radio.
radios.
Yeah,
On console radio.
yeah, the console.
Oh, awesome. You missed the auction.
There was some really good deals on.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Yes, and there's more coming probably in the next month or two.
Oh, okay.
Like that beautiful one right there behind you.
Did somebody buy that?
You did.
You did.
It's me. I gotta look it up.
Oh, yeah.
You know, did somebody buy that
Yeah,
console?
he did. He did.
Oh, Tom.
I did.
I gotta move my car. Appreciate it.
That's what they were explaining here.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we have the thing here we can vote for.
Want to do a show of hands?
Your hands is pretty.
I know. Okay,
Don't forget to vote. Come on. We have a couple minutes here.
come down and vote on the wood radio.
Yeah. State light radio.
Okay, cool. All right. So, all right, now go ahead and come up, take a look and vote for your favorite. Right there. And we have some free records up here. They're the 33s. I think there may have been some 78s. But they're free, so we'll put them back on the back table. Don, did you get those? You're next, right? You're next. You go through the record. Okay, Don's first. These two boxes. That one and that one.
Don't forget to vote.
About that.
What's your dog's name?
Cutie. Cutie. Yeah, cutie. Yeah, Julie. Cutie. Don, don't forget to vote. Did you vote? Be sure to vote, Steve. He's like, oh, you want to bite? You want to play?
We have a 30-pounder.
Oh, yeah, that wouldn't.
5 pounds.
No, she's a whole 12.
Ooh, one of our sons has
Thank you.
3 trucks.
Oh, wow.
Big.
Yeah. Is that your wife you brought? Oh, awesome. I'm glad she could make it. Yeah, I'm glad she could come. She's welcome to come and stay. We have to build our diversity, you know.
Just put up with my hobbies.
Oh, forever, huh? Oh, yeah. Come and vote. Be sure to vote.
That was really interesting.
Oh, the little feature of the month? Yeah.
So you do that all
Every week. Yeah, every month. I mean, sorry. Then we're gonna have a we have the Zoom thing. So then we're gonna try to get together. I don't know if you noticed it. So we can just get together and talk radio. Oh, good. Yeah. 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 Let us know if there's any questions you have or anything like that. Of course, we're online and as well as the WBRS@yahoo.com. That email there. Pat will be the one answering all that. So.
Okay, we need to draw this. Don't forget to get your raffle ticket.
Did everybody get the raffle ticket?
Door prize.
Oh, if they didn't.
Did you, are there any last minute entries? 'Cause we're gonna draw for that. Yeah. So out of here.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, we should have her. draw.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah, she loves them. She's too. She wants a refrigerator and a bunch of.
Oh, wow.
No, she just.
Let's get Salvador, our new member, to put one in.
Oh. That, drop it in the box.
For her?
And
Put her name on it, so we can just call her name. Put her name on it. Oh,
oh, no.
do one for me, Pat, too. I haven't done mine.
Just listen to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
One for Frank.
And then Salazar. Let's put Salazar's name on it. There you go. Grab at the bottom there and pull two of them off.
Yes.
I put my name on the wrong one, I kept the one.
Oh, just over there. Make hand the one. Yeah. Put my name on that one. Yeah.
Frank.
And then grab me another one and I'll give it to Salazar. Have him play it. Name on it. It's a cap, so it's a hat. So will we charge from $20? 16? Let me hand it to him. Let me just hand it. Oh, that's for him to keep.
Salazar.
Salazar.
Any other tickets?
Yeah, I'm kind of doing the same thing. One more prescription, you know.
Oh yeah, there you go. Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah.
I was on
I know,
28.
They say every 10 years you accumulate a new prescription.
Oh wow.
70
I told my doctor. I told my
my
doctor it's the same as the government. You gotta you gotta take two away to give me one new one, right? But I was on 28 different ones at one time. So I'm down to like 8. You ready? Have her draw. Okay, we're gonna draw. Let everybody know. Hey, we need your attention. Attention. We're gonna draw for a NWVRS cap.
Okay. All right, Kathy here is going to do it. Who is the winner, please?
Okay. 196.
Is there a name on the bot?
765, and it's Derek. Yeah.
Derek, you got a cap. Yay.
Your prize. Okay, verify the number, guy, verify the number. You get your very own
NWVRS cap.
50-year anniversary cap. Oh, no.
All right. All right.
Nice.
Oh, good.
How cool is that? That's
Huh?
cool. That's
Yeah, that's cool. I think it's fun to give the door prizes away. I think it's fun to give door prizes away. Hey, what the heck? You get a lot of poo-poo times, but no, it's not much.
everybody's never done it.
That's the truth.
Yeah, man.
What is that? That's something, huh?
Yeah,
For
man.
sure. But it gets frustrating, right? Especially when you try to push it and then nothing happens. And
Oh, yeah.
so then somebody just says, I'll just do it. And gets that. That's the only way it gets done.
Yeah.
So, and you try to okay everything with everybody, but
I know, right? You go to that to save up.
it did. That's 4 of them. I know.
I bid on like, I never do that.
Mhm.
And I was in there and I thought, well, I'll just bid
Minimums.
$20.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever the minimum was.
Yeah.
I ended up with like 3 things.
It was crazy.
I bid like $60 on that giant SP600
Oh, really?
receiver.
Oh my God. $60 is incredible, isn't it? Scrap value. And it works.
Works great.
Oh, wow.
I haven't taken it apart yet. I do have the manual that it's military. You know,
Yeah.
so
Heavy duty.
heavy
stuff.
duty. Works great on all the bands. With my signal generator on like 2 microvolts. Cover everything.
Oh, wow.
across the road.
That's awesome.
No antenna on it.
He had so much stuff in that little house. I
So
can't
we're
believe it.
looking for the best wood radio, May of 2024. We'll be drawing to a close soon. So you're done with the record?
I go on
The
the,
record's on.
of course, and then he.
Mike,
something
bend over.
hammer-
We need to put the
Oh, really?
I think it's either 100 or 200. The first one had, oh, I have it, it's an SP10. It has 347s for output.
Oh, wow.
Then the next one, the next model, they switched the output to, from that really high power,
Uh-huh.
47 tubes, they switched it to 6F6s or something. You know, they're called.
Oh, yeah.
Tone.
Dim the neighborhood when you turned it on.
6 amps. Film those in
Oh,
that.
wow.
And I got that for $20 at the state auction,
That's crazy.
but all the tubes were full, fortunately.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and the other thing I got was that cute little Hammerland sideband converter. Have you ever seen those?
Uh-huh.
It was about that big around, that big,
Oh, yeah.
no case on it,
Hmm.
but it's a sideband converter that Hammerland put out. So it's like a complete receiver, like the HQ170
Uh-huh.
on sidebands, except for the IF. So when they sold that SP600 in that cabinet, there's a 4-inch rack panel there that's just got a blank panel in it.
Uh-huh.
That had something called an SPC10, which is the same as that HP10 converter.
Oh, cool.
And they're unobtainium.
Oh, really?
As
And it
near
was
as I can tell, I've been posting on all of the lists
Did you
out
see?
there.
Did you see the RCA too? That big RCA receiver they had there.
Yeah, that was gorgeous.
Wasn't that crazy? I've never seen anything like
I
that.
thought about it. We live in a tiny house, so when I have big things, my wife.
Oh, I can imagine.
So
Yeah, I know how that goes.
mostly it's fixed it in the garage and have fun with it, and then get rid of it.
Get rid of
I
it.
got out of sale.
At least you get to enjoy it for a little while, huh?
Sale one of these days. I don't know. I sure don't feel like parking boat anchor down to bar,
I thought that was your thing, right? Yeah, it is. It's crazy.
I always
I can't
wanted
do
to
it.
know SP600.
Well, that's
I
cool.
never wanted to pay the $500.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Can also have a few bites.
I don't know.
So that was the door prize, huh?
I don't know.
Yeah, that was the door prize.
I actually came to a meeting and I'm not leaving with anything except my ticket.
Really? That's great.
But did
Nothing,
these
nothing on the
shops
free
sell?
table. Yeah, I don't think they sold. Oh no, somebody bought them.
Somebody bought them.
Yeah.
Yours like in the box.
$1 or something like that. Yeah,
I don't need them.
pretty sure. A lot of
Well,
people
they
haven't.
have little tubes.
A lot of people, yeah.
60.
A lot of people haven't picked up their stuff. So
I just don't have any room for any more radio.
yeah, exactly. I know how it is.
How you doing, Mark?
I'm good.
Good, me too.
Even without anything.
Yeah. Good.
I'm good.
Oh, I'm coming back in. Love that stuff.
I just curious on the accident. So. Okay, and let us know if that's accurate. Oh, yeah.
I think they did. What John on the sun.
She's doing good. She wants to go. She said, I'm bored. She doesn't usually do that, but it's like, I'm bored. Everyone's being too quiet. Ooh. It's gonna get some coffee since it's left over. People been eating the black licorice. People been eating the black licorice. Hey, you know it is. Your coffee's almost done.
Well,
Oh, you got my.
just sold it.
Oh, awesome.
Oh, not gonna make any more, that's it.
That's good.
And I was like, from here to the door, on that wall down. That's feet.
Hi, Lyles. How are you doing?
Good morning, Franklin. I'm doing just fine.
Good. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for putting the meeting online.
Oh, you're welcome. It's a good meeting. Did you
Tell
see all that stuff?
Brian Toon, I said hello. He just walked by you.
Oh, okay. I'll say hi to. There's Bill. Say hi to Bill. It's Lyles.
Hi, Bill.
Pat, say hi to Lyles.
Hi, Lyle.
Say hi to Lyles.
Good
Morning, Pat.
Morning. You missed a good option.
Take your dog with you now.
We'll see you. See if we can find somebody to say hi to, Lyles.
Okay.
Hey, Sonny, you want to say hi to Lyles? Say hi to Lyles.
Good
He's
morning,
online.
Sonny.
Say good morning, Sonny.
Good morning, Sonny.
There you go. Yeah, I guess nobody has a scissors. Or scissors they can use. There's a little one there, but good girl. Hi. Bye. Thanks for coming.
It's just piercing.
She says hi.
He's protective.
Oh yeah, you protected. Bye. Thank you for coming.
And this is not. Yeah. All right, well, I better go take some. Looks like we're wrapping things up.
Yeah, I guess the board meeting's gonna be at 11. Get on the way.
Get on the road.
Oh, okay.
You know what I would do?
Good to see you.
I liked your proposal about having a
Yeah.
meeting. We ask everybody if they want to vote for simplicity's sake. You and Lee and.
Okay, voting's
Go ahead. Real quick. Mainly.
okay, voting is about to end for the Jesse Wood Radio. Day of 24, hurry up and vote. It's gonna be closing off in just a couple minutes.
The way we can make this.
We want to go ahead and turn the meeting as soon as that's done.
We put your
And
heads
then the
together.
board meeting, there'll be a slight
And
intermission
decide
before the board meeting.
whether Sherry's or.
Yeah.
Rachel or whatever. Make the decision.
Just
And
do it.
invite everybody to come along.
Yeah, yeah.
And then that's more easier than trying to involve everybody.
Seems like
in
that's the way
decision.
things get done.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, they just don't. Like,
Right.
the name tags for one thing, or
Yeah.
some controversy about that. Just start doing them.
STEM connection application can probably do that.
To do them like exactly like that. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds good.
As far as that, that informal thing.
Start it, yeah.
Let all people join who want.
To join and not, and then it can evolve from there. If the group decides to go somewhere else.
I'd love to see that take off. I think that a lot of us would enjoy the opportunity to socialize.
Mhm.
But nobody wants to make a decision.
I know, it's crazy, isn't it?
So.
Well, just like Chehalis too. I mean, it's like nobody wants to volunteer for it.
Start it and we'll join you.
Yeah, sounds good. Thank you.
Wow, that was really great.
So, can we go ahead and declare the winner?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, you're not paying bad.
No, we're gonna talk about that. That's something. Okay, you ready to declare the winner?
Well, the winner's number 6.
Number 6.
Number 6. Who was 6?
Dan.
Dan. Smoking radio. Anytime with smoking radio.
Number 6. Please come forward.
Hand built. He's out. I think he went outside. Did Dan go outside?
Yes, sir.
Wow. Wonderful, wonderful. Wonderful.
We'll see you guys. Bye, Sonny.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey.
All right,
Good to see you guys.
take care.
Yeah.
So don't worry about everyone will get six.
I wonder if that's very important.
I read
No, it's not. Because they normally
Oh, thank you. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Can I squeeze by you guys? Excuse me. Excuse me. Watch your toes.
Yeah. You did a really fine job on that.
Uh-oh, I need a screwdriver. Oh, no. Did I do that or you do that? Uh-oh. This is the list. I guess we don't need this anymore.
One of these. There you go. Really small. Stay. Sit.
The person proclaimed their prize.
I don't know, what was the prize?
Well, you don't get, well, I guess the prize is that they, be in the contest for the big grand prize.
Oh, that's right. Are we gonna give a ribbon?
Oh.
The ribbons are in there. We just need to cut them. I think they're in there. They should be in there unless they didn't get thrown away. I know. I can't get in there, but this should be all ready to go back in there.
Okay, the meeting is adjourned and the board meeting will start here in a couple minutes.
5 minutes.
5 minutes. Okay, let me.
Well, there we go.
We're not gonna give them a hat or something.
Yes.
I found an old email, I saw an old conversation on the radio. That somebody says that when they need to test for 1As on the Jackson 648, they set it like it's a type 30, 5 instead of 2. And I set it up to do that right now.
Does it work?
Haven't tried it.
Oh.
Don't have any tubes.
I got an ONA. You want an ONA? I got it. I got an ONA. Oh.
It's all set up. Yeah, probably over there. See together. Right now, that's best guess.
So like the filter.
I think he's gonna need someone to report. You know, who knows how to operate. Well, I thought that.
No, I know, I just wanted it out.
Yeah, well, I tested these two changes on my tester. They indicated some problem. I said, let's try the one at the club and see if it gives the same answer.
Okay. So.
What tester do you use? But if Chris has never run this thing, it's not advisable. He might get the wrong voltage.
No, it's all set up. Jeff looked it up, set it up. All he's got to do is press 2 buttons.
So why don't we just do it right now?
Yeah. You got to plug it in over here. You got to move it. Are they ONAs?
Okay, we need your two. I didn't do the short.
Yeah, there it goes. It's lighting up.
We might as well take yours.
You can see it, yeah.
I think that this test is indicating. I would, before I gave it up, I would probably test it on a real tester.
You can see that the filament's lit.
The filament lights up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that doesn't mean it very much of anything. So the test.
Go through the battery.
26 or an 01A?
Oh, 1A.
01A, yeah.
We probably pause it. But this tester isn't actually.
Oh, it's still lit up.
You know,
That's lit up.
That one's got a short.
Oh, really?
But they look
Uh-huh.
I know this from experience. Don't run a 20
5 volts. It just
bad bananas.
it doesn't smoke like your log cabin.
It flashes.
Flashes like
arc.
I wouldn't necessarily throw them away until we verify that that way it is.
Hang on, Jim, but we have a cautionary.
You want to go grab mine? They're in the box there. We can test them real quick, and then see if they show good. In that Lyle box inside there, and they're inside the leather case. Lyle, inside the leather case.
The other one is like, let's try it. Not sure what it means.
Does it still go to the bad side? Well, it's lighting up.
So I wouldn't guarantee, I mean,
Mhm.
my chances are all four being banned, well, I guess so.
Or maybe that's the way it's showing.
At least we know you went go.
Yeah. Yeah, they're all showing that way, aren't they?
Yeah, but I gotta let it warm up though. It should be moving.
I can use them as placeholders anyway.
I've got one that looks very similar.
Oh, yeah?
I don't see it.
Okay. It's all good. We better start the meeting.
The records today. Left the records.
Yeah, you can take them all. Yes, please.
Would you grab those tubes and let Pat start the meeting? And I need to put them in that camera case and then in that Lyle's box. See the camera case that's right behind that box? And then if you put that in that Lyle's box, that would be good. I'm sorry? Yeah, they might bang together a little bit. I don't have any cushion, but oh well. Yeah, thank you. Okay, Pat, let's start the board meeting.
Board meeting is now in session.
You better. Hey, everybody, can we have a quiet. You can take your conversations outside. We haven't have a board meeting.
Okay, Secretary, you ready to roll?
I didn't hear you.
All right, you guys, can you get take your conversations outside or we have the board meeting. Thank you so much.
Okay, board meeting, this is starting at 11:00.
We're starting the board meeting.
Okay, first up, item is the Allen Shattuck Estate. So, what we have is about 1,500 cubic feet of a donation, 100% donation to the club if you wish to go pick it up.
It says square feet. Why'd you say
I'm sorry, it's cubic. Cubic feet.
How'd you get a cubic feet?
Well, 1,500 square feet would be.
That'd be the ground. I mean, the land.
1,500 square feet would be small.
No, that would be the carpet size.
But Tom, you actually saw this. What's in it?
Yeah,
Last time I was there, a lot of console. Was quite a few. Some of them,
Christian and Mike, can you guys go outside? Yeah, thank you. Or come and join the meeting.
some of it that maybe last time I was around, last two times, I picked up part of in some of the people. Some of them were put together, some of them maybe just the cabinet, maybe the chassis and the cabinet. Cabinet I got. Pretty much.
So
Okay,
I
still
get
down there.
the ones remaining here.
Are we talking about, 10, 20 tabletop radios or probably in that area? They aren't gonna be, most of them are gonna be like Tombstone, some of them will be just your regular cable top. I think there were a couple of them, if I remember right.
So out of the 1,500 cubic feet of stuff, probably the percentage of decent or good radios that would be good to auction off to the members would be, what do you think, probably a pretty low percentage of that?
You say those are,
Right,
I mean. And
I mean the console.
the top key console.
Yeah.
The table radios. Would probably be worth getting, depending on what's in that. I think I was the last one. I was one of the last. What's, and a lot of them need work. Well, it's not.
Well, that's okay.
typical. The question is, what's the cost to go to grocery in the truck from here? Get back and where's it gonna go once it arrives there?
I'm working with Bill Holman.
Stuff.
That is the location in Vancouver that we stored all of the Kraken radios, and that was easily a whole 1,500 square feet.
All right, so then the next question is Esteban or somebody that's got a trailer willing to go down there?
Possibly, but the question remains, would the club reimburse whoever goes down there for gas?
No,
No,
I have good reasons.
okay,
We are a volunteer organization. And no one in here should be compensated in any way.
But they're not being compensated.
Pay for people's gasoline, go after stuff like this is borderline compensating. And in the eyes of the IRS, they would look at it that way.
It's reimbursement. It's not compensation.
It's compensation as far as I'm concerned. I meant to bring this up 2 years ago, at least, when I was paying out gas money. If you're truly volunteers, you pay for your own gas. That's volunteering. I've done it myself. I've hauled truckloads of stuff with my own truck, and I've never asked for a penny. That's the.
Under current
not-
IRS regulations, nonprofits can reimburse charitable mileage at the rate of 14 cents a mile. Right there, it's on the IRS. That's the IRS website, so they won't argue with you about it. The 14 cents a mile is what you would have to compensate, or what you'd be allowed to compensate under the.
I guess, when I go down there, my vehicle, I can't fix it up. Oh, if I can go down, help out, use my gas.
If that's current, rules, Scott,
That's the current rule.
then whoever chooses to drive their personal vehicle down there is gonna have to.
Want their mileage.
Give mileage.
Right, which is, that would have to be a part of this, is the mileage would have to be logged, at the IRS rule. And then you can compensate for people, it's not a whole lot of money.
All right, well, then I'm at ease with that. I didn't know that that rule existed, the IRS. $56.
So it's about 300 miles one way.
Both mile.
The only thing that bothers me about this whole deal, and that I kind of wanted to see if, as far as the club is concerned, if we don't start getting into, to where we are becoming a disposal of, other people's property that, you know, they can't get rid of. A lot of this stuff is, like I'm talking about, you know, if we're talking about knife radios or something like that, somebody wants to donate, you know, 20 or 30 of them or something like that, that's fine, because that's something that could be auctioned off to the members and be a benefit. If it's boxes of parts and boxes of stuff or radios and consoles with the chassis taken out of them and the speakers taken out of, we don't know where that stuff is, well then at that point, I believe it's, the stuff that is either gonna have to be hauled off, it becomes actually junk, really. It comes to that point.
And
And
to
so-
the next question, which is a legitimate point, how much of what you thought would be deemed to be just garbage? I mean, when you look at it, there's a lot of garbage.
Yeah.
All right, I mean, so, but I think that, I mean, I could go down there and get another car, satisfy me, but, right. I don't know, Pat, the question here is, did you offer to do it as a take-all thing? Or had, in your discussion with the state, did you tell them that we are mostly interested in donations of goods that can be auctioned off? The things that we can't auction off, we can't take. I mean, if you want to bring back radio chassis with tubes, speakers, and cabinets, which there's a possibility here that at least somebody could use. But taking people's old TV sets and taking people's non-radio club related items and bringing them back here, putting them on the free table to be shuffled back and forth infinitely, doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
Eventually just.
No offer, nothing was done. She contacted me saying, I would like to make a 100% donation to the club with everything that's left over. And I said, okay, we'll take it to the board and find out. And that's what it was. We didn't promise anything. We didn't say we're gonna pick up anything because we have to deal with lately with so many estates that basically we're just garbage disposal. We're just
I would
taking
be
over.
willing to take somebody down. I'll pay the gas and you look at it and see what you think.
No, that's all right. We trust.
Well, I'll go
you.
for it.
You guys are
Been
better.
down there.
Yeah, you're better at the value or what you think it brings here than I am.
The one,
So I'm willing to do that on my time and my gas. But I want somebody, when you guys go with it, if you're the one who does the auctioning or have a better idea.
the one estate that we did here a while ago, the Ed Pittaway estate, his son John was running it, and he basically needed to get the house cleared out so they could sell it and all that for their estate, and we ended up, it had a lot of the same sort of situation. Unfortunately, Ed, before he passed, took stuff apart, never put it back together, so we had empty console cabinets, speakers, chassis, stuff. We opted at that point just to have, rather than go to all of the trouble of dragging it all over here, you know, and all that, we just opted to have the members go over to his house and look it over and then go ahead and purchase, anything they wanted right there without having to move it.
I was there. I didn't.
And it's, yeah,
So that's an excellent option to this auctioning idea. that you use. Just tell everyone to go down there on your own dime and buy whatever you want, right? And it's done.
They've already done that. What we're looking at is supposedly picking up everything that's left over. Right.
I just don't believe as a club, we're here to promote antique radios and restoration of antique radios and collection and everything else. We're not a junk disposal entity, you know, it's unfortunate.
Yeah, I
You know,
think
that's-
that, I think if we wanted to go down, the way that Tom suggested, or a couple of us, 2, 3 of us go down there and maybe we can fill up a pickup truck or a pickup truck in the back of the station wagon with stuff to bring back, or just purchase just if you want.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's just, it just doesn't, it doesn't sound
Oh, it's big.
like
Oh,
the best thing for us to do everything type sale. I want to donate everything.
Big.
Everything is mostly not stuff that I want, right?
And the distance is a problem too. It's so far away. That's basically the problem. Yeah, if it was a closer one, but you know, he was a member. So I mean, it was one of those things, a long time former member, and we are just helping the family out.
What about the recycle option? I mean, like if copper wire, we can put that in recycle, you know,
Well, we
metal
just do
take
that
that, we
to
collect
David.
that, you know, that you could recycle some of the solid metal, I don't know.
Well, we give that stuff
Well,
to David.
it's
If Roseburg is a problem,
I
Okay.
Right.
We're out there to restore radios, recycle, you know.
preservation of radios.
Let the family.
Do
let the
that.
Family do the recycling of the metal copper.
Right.
My feeling is I wouldn't mind going down there, picking up all the stuff, you know, speakers, chassis, tubes, stuff that the club could do. If the club broke even, so in other words, if we paid $150 for gas, and it came up here and sold for $150, I would be willing to do that because I know the club members would like the tubes, speakers, and all the parts.
Just so you know, tubes, Mike Miller bought all the tubes.
No, I mean, like, I'll pull the
If you
chassis,
wanted to pull the tubes out of the chassis.
something like that. In other words, I would do that for the club and put everything on the free table. But
I just, you're dipping back into this idea, bringing stuff back here that you probably can't sell back. That's what we're talking about. Either you select stuff that's saleable or auctionable
okay,
and leave all the junk,
I'm
but
more
don't take stuff that we can't
It's
use.
gonna end up on the free table. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, but that's a benefit for the club members. That's one point, right?
in other words, I don't.
The things we don't want are things that we bring back and forth and nobody wants it.
Far more efficient to let those people who are gonna weed through the free table to drive down there and pick up what they want.
Then why should they be club members? They can do that on their own,
Free table.
right? And without an auction.
How much stuff is left today on the free table that people didn't take?
I wouldn't
So
bring it in.
then, what are we gonna do about, we have to dispose of that stuff?
Want to pull the
You
tubes?
know, I just don't wanna get into the situation where we're disposing of junk.
The question realistically though, not until the things like that come back. Do we have the bandwidth as a club to test, categorize, separate out, or stick them on the free table? What percentage of them goes? Who's gonna take care of the garbage? Is they just split the bottom line here? Because we're all done with this. And is that legitimate club business, or is it something that maybe, as Tom suggests, we just approach the state and say, there are several members who have said they'll come back down one more time to go through everything. And whatever, you know, comes back, whatever else they have to just dispose of. I think that that's a realistic thing.
It is.
Yeah, it is.
I don't see renting a truck is not something we wanna do.
calculate
14 cents a mile is something we could do under the IRS rules. And so whether or not it's gonna be, a viable thing to do at that rate, who is gonna be willing to do that.
I've been taking care of probably the trash on that table for probably years now. It all comes in with me. So yes, I know what to pick up and what not to pick up, because if it's something that doesn't sell or no one wants it for free, I usually get stuck with it. So yes, it's in my best interest not to take junk. But like I say, I'm willing to go down and do that. So for the benefit of the club members, if you don't, I would be willing to recycle, because I've been doing it for years.
Well, another big thing on recycling, like knobs, there's always a market for knobs. Take them all off, put them in a box, you could always trash them, but people are always looking for knobs. There's money, that doesn't take much to haul. I'm gonna take TVs, they're gonna recycle that.
We wouldn't take-
Cathode is the market to sell. And TVs, we would want, you wanna make a cathode ray tube.
Well, okay, what would the motion be? Because we need to formally what it
Do
should be.
we want to be on the hook for minimally 15 cents a mile? This is a club member or 2 club members down to Roseburg to go through the materials left at the shed at the steam and
pick up-
recover the things that we believe could be sold at either sold by auction or put on the free table for the benefit of the members.
I like that as an option.
I'll second it.
You've seen pictures of what's left?
Yes,
Tom's been down there.
yeah. The trouble is, I sent those out to everyone, on the board, and it's like all in boxes, so they can have junk in there or they can have some decent stuff. You can't tell because it's in boxes. But Tom has been down there physically, so he would know.
Does Tom think it's good stuff still?
Yes.
There's some good stuff down there. We want to jump.
Right.
There's some decent stuff. And you have to
No.
No.
jump.
But I will make sure that that is, stated, written down before we even step 1 foot out the door. Because we will not take junk. There's 15 minutes cubic feet. I'm sure I would venture to say 75% of that is junk, because it'll be console radio. Now, we could take the chassis, perhaps. But
Let's get this in kind of close now. We know that console radios don't sell well. We don't need chassis for console radios any more than we need the radios themselves. What is it that you want to bring back specifically? I've made a motion to basically take 1 or 2 members, possibly pay 14 cents a mile for them to go down, evaluate, and bring back for the benefit of the club, the members of the club, some of the materials from the state. What specifically are you guys all willing?
I would say.
Christian's got something to say here. so let's
Also,
let
are
him-
you gonna just, like, for the console, can you pull the tubes out of it and get that out?
Probably
and then leave
could.
The console still,
Probably,
because
yeah.
it's as junky as they were.
That would be something more clear with the family, yeah.
I think the simplest way to define that is, don't bring anything back that's not complete.
Yeah,
Don't bring back a chassis without a cabinet. Don't bring back a cabinet without a chassis.
right.
It's not complete.
Exactly.
You can't.
Yeah, but you can't say that because then you couldn't bring back knobs.
I can say that.
It's not complete. It's not complete.
What I think explain to us that is that there are projects still there. Whether or not they're all in one, or not, because Pat's saying it's all in boxes, is something we would have to be willing to take the risk of someone going down there and actually looking through the stuff and doing the evaluation and bringing back what they could. It would be kind of a shame, I think,
And
to
they
have some Zenith radios sitting down there
and
and have the cabinets, the tombstone or tabletop with a chassis that's somewhere else in this thing. And maybe
that's what I'm
speakers.
saying. If the chassis and cabinets are separated, you're gonna have people who know how to match them up.
Yeah, that's a hassle. In fact, that
How
last,
do you stack without?
Well, the Howards have been looking for like a box for I don't know how long. Something.
Yeah, they were down there, I think.
They've been down there.
The chassis.
that was like it was at the Pitaway Estate. And I looked at that and we all went down. I had a couple of people went down and we looked this whole thing over. And yeah, there was speakers everywhere. There was chassis everywhere. There was empty cabinets. And I didn't want to go through and take, it's the amount of time you go through and take the time to match all that stuff up. So then you could sell the thing as a complete radio. It just wasn't worth it, and then what do you end up with? You end up with a console that maybe you can auction off for $4 or something, maybe, or $1. And so then the other point on that whole thing is that it's fine if you want to bring back, like I agree with Ed, let's bring back stuff that's complete, number one. And number two, if you're gonna bring back anything beyond that, I don't like the idea of just like this last option, and no offense, but it's just my opinion. I don't like the idea of all of this stuff on the free table that we're bringing back. Why are we bringing back stuff to put on the free table that a lot of times, like for instance, now people haven't even taken? And now we're gonna have to dispose of. So then we become back into disposing of junk. You
It's
know,
hard to
anything that
say.
looks like it's free table, we don't take. And if it's a nice radio and it's complete and we can auction it off that way, hey, great, you know, I'm for that.
All right, so also then, so I guess bottom line here is what I'm hearing you say, Tom, is that there probably, except for the console radios, is very little left that's complete. What I would do is go back to the family, this is just my suggestion, and say, we have several members who have expressed some interest in maybe going through it one more time, and picking up the bits and pieces that we believe could be beneficial to the club, beneficial to themselves at this point, because if the club is not going to reimburse, then this would be kind of an individual effort, and see if that applies through the Google groups rather than trying to get something organized to spend club money to go down there and then end up possibly with picks that don't go. Because there's no way to know what will go off that table. On any given day, there's enough people with enough interest in this club that you could put something out there that you might think is absolute garbage. And somebody there is thinking, oh my God, I just hit the jackpot.
But yeah, you know, and
That's
that's like the trash bash is that way, you know.
It is.
So is all this stuff on that table over there sold?
Yeah, I bought that. That's stuff.
The other thing too, I was looking at and maybe make a counter motion is just to open it up to all the members that are interested in going down there and have the members go down individually, just like we did at that one in.
We've all done
We already did.
Yeah, we already did that.
Oh, okay, so that's already been done. So then in other words, there's nothing left that anybody wants.
No,
Other
that's
than-
not what I'm hearing from Tom. I'm hearing Tom say there's still stuff.
It's a long ways. Yeah, it's a whole day. I mean,
Right,
Things
right.
are all made it up.
Sure.
So this is like somebody who's a picker, who's gonna go down there and look for, okay, this is an interesting cabinet. Let me see if I can find the other pieces of it here and that. And so somebody would be willing to go down there and spend part of the day scrapping
Right.
through this.
Sure.
Right, so there was a motion to do that in a second, basically from my hearing is the club is willing to pay someone 16 cents a mile.
14 cents.
14 cents a mile to go down there and come back, to bring back only stuff that is auctionable or
Complete.
complete.
well, how can you say complete though? I don't understand that. Complete would be if there's one knob missing, it's not complete, right? You're really restricting the people to go down there.
About chassis and.
But you said complete. So I mean, we have to be specific if we say it,
You can find two.
but that's not complete.
All right,
Well,
well,
that-
let's just.
I don't like the wording
Let's
here.
put the first motion up for a vote.
All right.
1 to 2 members, go down there, 14 cents a mile, bring back for the benefit of the club, whatever they find. How many people are for that motion?
I am for that motion.
All right, so it looks like we're at a Mexican stand.
So we got 1, 3. Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's too much work, too far away.
Well, you wouldn't go, but someone else might be willing to go.
Right.
That's.
And right now,
And we're
what
paying
happens
for
if we have a tie?
Oh, yeah, so one thing was adding art.
It's hard to say. Then it's one of those court decisions, you know, it's like a mistrial. It doesn't fail, it doesn't pass.
I don't like the wording on that motion, you know, and because then, you know, we can get back into somebody might going down there and then bring back stuff and then it's.
We're talking tubes, chassis,
Doesn't-
things that we would be able to.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that wouldn't affect the club, and we're gonna pay the 14 cents, right, to go down. And if they bring back nothing, we're still gonna pay the 14 cents, right? The idea is they're gonna pick up whatever they want.
Is to just open it up for people to go down and buy what.
We already have.
We don't have to get involved.
But that's
We already
It's
have.
already been done. That's the bottom line here is this is what's left of the estate.
The state
This is
wishes.
the parts that didn't get picked by people.
So that kind of implies, it's not very valuable stuff, so why?
Yeah.
Not necessarily, it's because it's too far to go. Only a couple people went down there. So the estate doesn't want it. She has to drive all the way from Dallas to go all the way down there to meet people to sell to like 2 people.
Uh-huh.
And so, you know, she doesn't want to do anymore. She wants to donate all of the rest of it to the club. And so I don't know what's
No,
in
So
there.
that sounds like a no to me.
No.
We, because you just added the one piece that we keep talking, coming back to, which is she wants to donate everything to the club. In other words, she's looking for somebody to clean it out.
Clean it up.
Well, we know that we don't have to take the stuff. She knows that too. So that's just the wording she's, in other words, she's not to say, well, we're gonna keep this, everything that's there, we can pick through.
Maybe
Maybe
what do you do?
Well, last time you had a couple of people go down, but they had to pay for things, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So at this point, everything is free.
Yes.
So maybe hey, Tom didn't want to pay for that, but if it was free, he would have taken it.
Well,
Well,
that's a good point.
if it's for free,
Right.
That's a good point.
if
But
it's
now
for free,
everything's free
if
though.
it's free, it's
Well, last time-
donate to club, we will give her a receipt, because we are a 501c3 with the EIN number. We would give her something that she can use on her taxes.
Right, but I'm
That's-
just saying that maybe stuff wasn't taken because they had to pay for it.
Yeah.
But if you say, hey, it's free,
Well,
all of a sudden he's like,
Well,
well, yeah,
if
that's
it's not-
right.
The last time I was down there, I gave her $100 back in our bill, I couldn't get any more.
Right,
So
so
it
if you
wasn't-
said it was free,
So, if it was free, it would have made no more difference. I couldn't get any more in the car. So-
Christian makes a good point in that last time you guys keep telling us that you already did that. Well, then you already did that when you went down there and then you had to buy the stuff. Now she's making 100% donation to the club, right? Is that
Right.
correct? So why can't we just have the members go down that are interested in going through there and they want to pick that stuff up for free and they don't have to
I
pay her
could
anything?
propose that to her.
Yeah, that would
Yeah.
be, I think.
I would like to
that
make
would be the better
a
option.
motion that we do that.
The
And the-
only reason why she wants, I believe she wants to donate, because she can use the tax write-off. If it's given to the mom who shows up, we're not gonna give any kind of receipt back.
And you're not gonna get reimbursed.
Yeah, she's not gonna get it.
And we don't have to be concerned about her taxes.
That's true,
Right.
but that's probably why she wants to donate, so she can get a tax
She
write-off.
could just take that stuff to the.
What do you mean? Yeah.
She wants the club to go through it first, otherwise she's just gonna dump it.
Or why doesn't she just make up a bunch of receipts for everybody that comes down there and then you're welcome to go through and pick whatever you want. It's all free. Oh, by the way, would you please sign this thing for a tax?
But they're not a 501c3. We are. So it wouldn't be a donation if somebody comes down there and picks it up, even if you're a member. That's not legal. It has to be avoided with the club. Yeah,
Well, then, how much is she talking for some kind of a tax write-off on all of it?
we don't know. Well, we just give them what,
But we don't have to be.
we're just saying that's the reason why. That's not that,
You give her a receipt. You're
As
not
a
gonna
club.
take- As a club, we're not gonna take everything, we're all gonna wanna take what we can sell, or the benefits of the club, like a speaker someone's looking for, or knobs.
What happened to Mike's proposal he just made?
What was the?
Just let people go down there and
Yeah.
pick out what they want. We don't get
And they
involved
can have it
with auctioning
for
stuff.
free.
Well, that's up to them, but we will not give her a receipt if it's given away to. the
That's
club.
right. We can't, I guess we can't do that. That's fine. I'm not saying and
Why
suggesting
don't,
that
why
we
don't we
do.
just, why don't we just move to table this thing or to make it at, if you wanna touch base with this person and let them know that we're not in a position because of the distance to take all this stuff. If they want to open it up for free for members to come down and pick through what's left before she takes it to the dump.
For themselves.
For themselves, then we
Right.
would be into that, we can put it up on our Google groups and.
Right.
And it's done, and we're no longer part of it. She can also take whatever's left over to Goodwill and make that donation.
Yeah.
And get her receipt, and that way, in the spirit of what we're doing, which is restoring radios and doing that, club members needs to get that, and we need to get that as well.
Right. Are you making a motion to do that?
Right, I will need it written up so I can tell her this is what the deal is. Basically, we're gonna
I
tell
want to
them,
hear a motion on what Scott just said.
yeah, okay, who seconds that?
I second.
Okay, all in favor of that motion?
The motion, there we go. That should pass.
Now we pass.
Yeah, because that's, yeah.
I was gonna ask about tax receipts. I mean, Hector, you know, when you donate to charity like a car, you gotta, you just issue a receipt for like minimum is $250 and you put it on your Schedule A. I mean, you just can't write a receipt, it's a tax deductible, minimum is $250 and then you.
It's up to the
give a receipt
taxpayer.
for that?
It's up to the taxpayer to put the price on it, of the value of it.
Yeah, we put the price on it?
No, nope,
Minimum?
we're not allowed to do that.
You have to put the price on it.
Yeah. Well, 250 is the minimum. No, no, 250.
It's up to the person making the donation.
Art, the 250 is a minimum that they won't check, basically. That's how it looks like. So, but you can put whatever you want on there, but 250 is just a minimum.
I donated a car and I got a receipt so much, and they give you a receipt, you know? That's all.
Yeah.
So
Moving along, that one has passed, the motion.
Okay, I just need that, so I written up so I can, have it in front of me so I can want to call it later on, you know, whenever, okay?
Okay, you'll get it in writing.
Okay.
So she could put $250 down minimum without hassles with the government, it's up to her, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
Should be
but-
instructed to do that.
Yes.
You can do it automatically.
All right. The next motion, that next topic of discussion is about food at the event.
Yeah. No,
Pizza party, we've already dealt with.
Oh.
Let's talk about food at events in general. I got a couple of emails, which I kind of wanted to go back to Pat and ask about. What I want to know kind of and understand about the food thing is I hear that there's some objections to providing food for members. And I'd like to kind of understand what the objections are, and why the objections have come up the way they have.
I can deal with that.
Okay.
First of all, I was surprised to hear you say at the meeting today, Scott, that having pizza at the trash bash is a tradition in this organization. It only started 2 years ago. How can that be a tradition? It's not. It's not a tradition. Half of the people in this room think it's a tradition. Okay? It started 2 years ago. And I thought the reason was because some people in our organization don't like the location of the picnic up in Chehalis, Washington.
Right.
I don't like it up there myself because I would have to drive more than twice as far in time to get to a picnic than I do coming here.
Right.
This is the tradition of a picnic right here.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so the solution to that problem was to create another one. Let's feed the disgruntled people pizza and pop here at a meeting, at a trash can. Fortunately, it didn't show up on time. Most people had left at the end of the meeting before the pizza showed up. And I would say that was a blessing in disguise, because can you imagine the turmoil would be caused when someone's up at the room here trying to speak to the audience and they're all got their mouths full of pizza at the same time? That's disrespectful.
Well, at least they're.
It was after the meeting,
People eating food.
but it was after the meeting. That's why everybody left.
Never got eaten by the membership.
That was the first year.
And I thought that, okay, this is a one-off thing, I'll pay for it. And then suddenly it shows up again last trash batch, and that was $176. And we didn't have a meeting. It was a pizza party without a meeting. I came down here for a meeting. I didn't come down here to eat pizza. And you canceled the meeting.
I don't remember canceling the meeting.
You did. You sat here and said, well, we're not gonna do a meeting today. Enjoy the pizza. I saw you do it.
Oh, that's my fault then.
All right, so now, fast forward to the swap meet last April. And I was very surprised to find out that we're buying food now. We're catering our events. We bought $207 of food and drink. people purchased $117 of it. So we lost about $90 on trying to cater the trash, the swap meet.
Right.
I don't agree with that. And then to my astonishment, we have an open house the following weekend. And I learned we're paying for the food at someone's open house. I never heard this stuff before. None of this has been discussed as a board. All of this is
I'm pretty
coming out
sure,
of
I'm pretty sure.
your ideas, Pat, and we're spending money unnecessarily. Think about last year where we took in over $9,000 in auction money. It's not like the membership is hurting for money that they can't bring a snack to a meeting or to a swap meet or to an open house. People can always bring snacks for the day. And we shouldn't have to be paying to feed people in this organization.
Okay.
That's my
I
rationale.
have something.
Okay, I do too.
Go ahead.
Let's talk about the swap meet. Swap meet starts the day before. Nobody shows up, but people who are involved in putting the tables up and who have wares to sell it. I stay.
I know you told me about this.
Now, the next day, I'm there, the first one's there, and I'm the last one to leave. Now, if you think that I at 5 o'clock in the morning, gonna get up and make myself a sandwich and make coffee, go buy the local donut place and buy my own donuts and do everything else, and somebody else can do that swap. I think that we can offer coffee because I think that we can either raise the table price $5 and include the coffee and donuts as part of the deal, or there's some other way to do stuff that will make this more equitable for those of us who are stuck there. And it's not just me, it's the people who help set up all the tables, who are out helping direct people and do all the other work. I collect the money, set the tables up, I make the chart, I give a lot of time. I get nothing, and it's fine because that's what I took on, it's my responsibility. But I'm not gonna show up, if we can't have coffee at this thing that starts at 7 o'clock in the morning, why would I want to do that? I miss out on all the deals and everything else to do the job. And all I'm asking for is coffee and donuts to be provided at this thing.
But
I do not think that's unreasonable.
But we provided meals, not coffee and donuts.
This time, we, Pat and I don't know who else talked about it. And I think we had a forum of board members.
We talked about it.
And trying to suss out how many people are gonna actually take part in the food, along with making sure that the announcements are made. It would be nice if, for instance, when we had a sign up for this event, we had an actual sign up where we offered people the ability, if somebody is willing to do what Christian did, which is to go out and get food and bring it to this thing, you sign up and agree to pay for it.
And then spend the whole day.
Right, I mean, because that's a lot of work on Christian's part. I have to say that you put a bunch of time into this.
Unnecessarily,
Well,
in my opinion.
Well, yeah, I mean, I get your side of it. But the other side of it is that we actually had about half of the food go, and had we been better at planning, that is getting out some type of thing. Part of this is in the structure, okay, because it's all volunteers. So for me, what I'm beginning to see is that if we want to do stuff like provide food, and you want to come out even at the end of it, then we need a sign-up sheet of some sort. And we have to encourage club members who are going to be vendors at this thing, and club members of the other organizations who are going to be vendors at this thing, to say, hey, if you want food, sign up and agree to pay for it. And then we collect the money for that, and everything is fine, because you come out even or better.
So
we made, how much money did we make?
Yeah, how much all together?
What was the overall take in stock? How many tables?
What do you
did I
mean,
sell?
the sale of the food?
No, what's the sale of all the tables? What's the
Everything
total?
for the fees plus the rental. That should be important.
$500.
All right.
And we
So-
cost us $90 to pay some of the volunteers for things that are business. I mean,
What costs us $150? 150. So 400 less 150 is 250. Did we lose any money or did we make money?
Well, based on those two data points, we made money.
Okay.
So you see, you're making it more complicated to have people sign up for food. We shouldn't be in the business of feeding people They have opportunities to walk down the street to a little coffee shop.
Yeah,
or a
we don't if we're there
shop.
volunteering.
You're not speaking for me, you're speaking for you.
I will do it for you. I'll put it in the shop and get you food. It eliminates all of the complexity of feeding people at all of our gatherings. It's crazy.
Scott, how many people are you talking about that can't leave the swap meet?
Okay, so most of the
I know
people
it's
who
you.
are vendors
Can't
probably
leave.
aren't gonna wanna walk away from their table for a half an hour to go find someplace to eat and get food. And part of the reason that we have, maybe, just hear me out, because I know what you're gonna tell me, and there is some possibility that the people who come at 7, who check out at like 10:30 or 11, are just checking out because, well, there's no place to eat and they're done. They don't want to stay anymore.
I know.
And so I'm trying to find a balance where those people who would, the benefit of having food downstairs was you didn't really have to leave your table for about 5 or 10 minutes. And that's, I think, about the optimum amount. And Kristen's got something to add as well.
Ask Mike if he had something.
Yeah, I did.
And Pat. did
I
you
had
have
a sandwich,
something?
it was.
And I had a sandwich.
Did you get a drink and other people?
Yeah.
So I would
Yeah.
say that maybe the planning was very quick. Right. Something was done. And then the next time you learn from it, it's like the pizza party, the very first one. The second one, everybody was in line before the boxes were open. They were. And then you saw the hands today, and it's like, well, I don't even know why you're discussing it. It was already set up.
I do think, I see what your point is, but I want to say in defense of the group and why I did what I did today. Was I want to know what our group wants of the club. We're not a money-making organization, we're a nonprofit. And the money that we raise is for the benefit of the members of this club. And for the people who are coming here every month on Saturday, the second Saturday of the month, what is it they want with that money to be done? I don't want to foolishly spend the money off, and I understand that George Mason Fund is sacrosanct. We don't need to even talk about that right now.
No, you don't.
But the money that we raise from swap meets, from the sales and the other stuff, is for the benefit of the members. And so I want the members to have some say as to how that money is spent.
Exactly. I agree with that, but they never raised their hands and said, I want some food at our meetings. This is all spewing from the fountain of Pat Kaji's ideas.
Some is from me.
And you. And they're not asking for that. We are putting it upon them unnecessarily. If you're a vendor at the swap meet and you're gonna be there all day long and you don't wanna leave your table, you bring a lunch from home. In
That's what
your
we do.
case, I would buy you the lunch down the road for you. That solves the whole problem.
Yes.
That was a vendor, that was a vendor that we paid.
Why not?
Because she went.
Because they went out of business.
Okay, so where are we gonna get the food now?
There are-
You've got a table.
There are shops, there are shops in Aurora.
No, not really.
It could be something like, we talk to somebody there in town and say, hey, would you like to come cater our event? It's close by. And we think, based on Christian's number, we have probably about X number of people. 25 lunch, and put that out there so people have a way of basically scratching that itch rather than not at all.
Well, I
I'm
think,
not quite following what that recommendation.
All right, so the food, there were, how many people ate?
25,
I think we got what, 20?
5.
It's like over half of the people that were there.
And you're suggesting what? That we get another caterer?
Well, we had, okay, in the past, according to you and Tom, we had a caterer.
Arlene's Cuisine.
I know. And then
And then
they retired.
she retired, so it's not like the need went away, the person went away.
Right, but
All right, but
again,
the need still exists, and so what I'm saying to you is that if the need still exists, how are we gonna satisfy that need?
we satisfy it by recommending to people that they bring their lunch from home. That's how we do it. It's simple. And then the board doesn't have to waste our time discussing and arguing about this for hours and hours.
We did.
Yeah, but if you
They raised their hand for pizza.
But if you ask them by saying, how many people want pizza at the trash bash? Who's gonna refuse free food, for God's
They
sake?
did that first year.
I'm not saying the food should be free.
First year they did.
Here, I wanna say something. Getting
David
back,
also has something to say too.
well, I know, but I was supposed to be after Scott. We'll let David talk here just a minute. It won't take long from me. Anyways, we had, and it seemed to work out fine. It took no money from the club. And we had that Arlene and her food truck come around. And she was simply there and people would go and buy the food directly from her, give her the money, they get the food from her. And it had nothing to do with pulling money out of the club's funds in that way. And then it worked out really well, okay? Just like somebody said, the need didn't go away, but the she did, you know? Well, what's wrong if we research somewhere close by, maybe Aurora, Canby area, something like that? There's gotta be some food trucks or one of them that would fill that need. They come around, they're an independent entity. Now we're buying from them and then we don't have to run down in the middle of Aurora someplace. She's gonna be parked, or they're gonna be parked right there in a parking lot right by the swap meet. And now we've got food, we've got a place for people to buy it. Doesn't involve the club, anything else. And the second part of that is that right now we've got lots of money, okay, because we've done lots of auctions. So the bank account is very full, okay? Well, I wouldn't like to set a precedent that we're gonna be paying for food for all of these events necessarily, because what if that goes away sometime and then we set a precedent and then maybe we don't have lots of money later on down the road. Anyway, that's all I have to say about that, but I think I would be willing to research myself where there would be a nice, decent food truck person to come around during the swap meet.
I think that's a great idea.
We've had roach coaches before.
Yeah.
We had it out in the,
Right.
and.
I think it's a great idea. It fills a need and people can buy it and then get back into their table within 5 minutes or whatever.
It's a great solution.
I like
Now,
Christian.
No, David, remember David?
David.
Mike said it all.
All right, I'd like to know what's gonna replace our club summer picnic in Everett. If we don't have pizza or any food or any eating, what are we gonna do here for our tradition?
we should bring the
Summer
picnic
picnic.
back to Abernathy is what we should do, because that's what started all this problem. People don't want to drive that far. And I'm not alone. There's a bunch of people who probably aren't speaking up about that, but they don't like the fact that they have to drive so incredibly far for I hesitate to say that it's a picnic anymore. It's just another swap meet with another club.
Yeah,
It's true.
it's true.
That's true. And now I think that's my suggestion is to replace something because of Chehalis. Is the quicker, simpler answer to me was, well, Costco's not gonna cost that much, $127 for the whole club. That seems cheaper than hiring them for $900 to cook hamburgers. And then we provided everything else. That was a very expensive picnic.
I move that we bring the picnic back to Abernathy Grange. And you can go up to Chehalis if you want to that swap meet.
I would like to, hey, how about if we agree at this point to make the picnic a pizza party in conjunction with the trash bash and a meeting? And have that all happen, whatever month you want to have it happen.
We've already done that.
Yeah.
That would be for September.
That's not a picnic.
We don't
Sit around
used
eating
to have
pizza.
a real tailgate. And that was a whole day.
Our picnic included
A swap meet.
bringing their own food to the picnic.
But it was really,
Potluck style,
really
not
expensive.
hamburgers and hot dogs and pop.
That was.
And it was a swap meet too.
So.
Especially your food.
Chehalis is July 20th, so it doesn't conflict with any of ours. It was done in conjunction to bring our two clubs close together. Now we've added a third club. We've added the Chehalis Ham Club, because their event is the same day.
That's my point. It's not a picnic. It's a swap meet. That's all it is.
It's always been a swap meet.
You had many more members attending the picnic right here. A very good social gathering. We actually have cover over our heads if the weather turns bad. You don't have that up there in Chehalis. What do you do when it starts pouring rain
We have tents.
at a picnic? No shelter?
Well, I
We have
don't
tents.
suggest we have a picnic here. For sure, you know, that's why I suggested that, again, the easy thing to fix was the pizza. And last year it seemed like they really liked it. But I know we need a picnic, something here for the summer. Some type of food event.
Just simply return it here the way it used to be. And you can go to Chehalis for that little swap meet up there if you want. Most people don't want to go out.
So your suggestion we have back to where we had the speed felt shop picnic here at the Grange.
With the swap meet.
And then also, go ahead and anybody that wants to go up, to Chehalis, to the swap meet, but we don't have to make it into a picnic. I
That's
don't
what I'm
think,
saying. That's
I
what
don't
I'm
think
saying.
Castara,
No, it's not.
it's not.
It's
The
just
week
going
after.
to.
And Pat, here's another question I have on that picnic thing in at Fletcher's. Is Castara, contributing to, any of the food or any of that, at all?
Yes, they pay.
So now they are. Okay, good. I just wanted to find out on that.
To be honest, I think it's too late to cancel the picnic
Oh, no,
portion of this year's,
this year, yeah.
because it's too late. The flyers are already out. Mario stated, you know.
Yeah.
that the stuff, you know, but
So do we have a motion to return the picnic to Abernathy Grange?
Did you make a motion?
I asked for a motion on it.
Okay, so
Okay.
the motion is to return the picnic.
I'll second it.
For 2025.
we have
2025. Either you're committed
Okay.
to Chehalis this year, or next year.
2025.
So you're talking a full picnic, not a pizza party? And you're
Yes,
full
a pizza party is not a picnic. It's a pizza party.
All right. So the motion is to return to a potluck picnic in 2025,
Right.
and that's for the August meeting.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
we can do the August.
No, it's July.
It's
July.
Normally July.
Okay.
You don't have to determine it today.
That's true. We don't have to set a date today.
Okay. So the motion then is to return to a potluck picnic
Yeah.
in 2025
At Abernathy Green.
The
at the Abernathy Green.
Speed Belt Shop Memorial. That's what we used to have.
All right,
We need a second.
I seconded it. You seconded it.
all right. Call for a vote.
Okay, all in favor?
4.
Four, all right, four.
Okay,
We'll
carried.
return it to that. Should this have gone, just a question, should this have gone to the membership?
Should what have gone?
No, it seems to me like, and correct me if I'm wrong, it seems to me like the word I got was that the membership wanted us as a board to make these decisions. I think unless it becomes something that is a huge money deal, that we have to run this through by the membership before we make a decision on it. This is not a huge money thing. It's not a super important thing. I think the board can make these decisions.
Okay,
Are you gonna have a budget set for it? Because we were paying $900 for people. to
That
go
was-
camp.
That was when we hired, our.
A cater.
Okay, but that was a budget.
Yes,
No, we don't do budgets. We just,
Well, that was
We
$900
don't.
to go camper.
that was
Right,
when.
And I'd love the club to hire me.
and I
That was
pay
when-
that.
I know, I'd love
Yeah,
the
but-
club to hire me.
We don't set up.
And now we're worried about $90.
Hired Arlene to do the picnic.
And now we're worried about $90.
To the picnic, we go to Costco and buy
It's just
some
petty.
burgers and that, and then, we did it for probably $200 to $300.
Yeah, that's what I would say.
The
comes
whole,
back
the
on
whole
agreement.
thing.
So there's one last item on the food list.
Yeah.
Why was this business of paying food at someone's open house
that was,
brought up? How did that start?
that was done to kickstart, because no one was going to do it. if they had the responsibility, they did have to pay for the refreshments and the hors d'oeuvres, then I thought that would make it so that we would get a volunteer. We did get a volunteer and it worked out, but I can understand if we don't want to pay for that anymore, it should be up to the host family, that's fine.
That's what surprised me is, you know, if I was to host an open house, I would be providing stuff to eat or drink.
Right.
I agree.
And I
Same
would
here.
not expect to be reimbursed for it.
So you're doing it
That's not
next month?
hosting anything. You get paid for it.
Well, I got.
So you're doing it next month, right, Ed? For everybody?
I talked to Bill.
That's no, nobody's gonna do it. They have to spend $75.
We can pay up to
So
$75.
again, that was coming out of
Yeah.
your idea, wasn't discussed,
It was
happened
discussed.
It
overnight.
was discussed.
It was discussed. It was on one, it should be in the, should be in the
No,
meetings.
I learned about this when you came over to my house to update the roster. I said, what are you talking
We
about?
talked about this. and
No, we
voted.
didn't. I
All right,
didn't hear it.
all right.
Think about
We
it.
did.
I have a motion out here.
Scott
Do
should
we
look it up.
want, or do we not want to provide refreshments in open houses?
Well, that.
Well,
which way do you
that's
want
two
to
different
pose it?
things.
All right, does the club want to provide refreshments for, open house?
No, I think the thing is the club will not reimburse the host family for any refreshments for.
Does the club want to provide refreshments for open houses, yea or nay? That answers the question. It's very direct.
Okay, I'll second it.
Your second, okay, so now
Would
we're
you,
gonna,
would you
Vote.
recite the motion again?
Does the club want to provide refreshment for open houses? Food, in other words, refreshments, whatever. that
Refreshments.
means.
Right.
We can say yes or no.
And we can put a budget on it.
It's yay.
Yea or nay? Oh.
Call for a vote,
I'll say yes.
just say yes.
Mhm.
what?
That the club will pay for refreshments.
To pay, everybody, so you understand. There's a little confusion. This is, we're gonna vote to pay for food at some person's house.
And then I think. we need a budget. So,
Oops.
so all those who approve, raise your hand.
Right.
I'll raise my hand. I'm the only one that approves. Otherwise, nobody's gonna do it.
Oh,
Three, two,
Two.
one.
read the motion
again.
Somebody do it again.
You're not voting, Pat?
That's why it should be,
It's
the club
confusing.
will not pay for it anymore. Second motion, all in favor, yes.
Yes, we will not pay for it.
Okay.
No.
just not pay for it.
So it's not gonna happen.
4-1, I abstain. So
All right. Yes. we will.
Pat, could you grab that? gun?
All right. Thank you for giving me some time on this. I want to turn the gavel over to George. He has something to say.
First of all, I've got to get my rump out of the chair. If I may say something to this august body. I'd like to have maybe this body here have some memory of what the club used to be, to how to go. First of all, the club was never designed to be a junk place or selling of junk. So that's in the days of old when we started up. Why did we start up as a club? Because the miracle of the age came up. Radio, communications, how to build a crystal set. That's how this club started. It started with learning and teaching. It started with, it wasn't till much later years that they got to the point that people in the club started knowing more about radios. So they learned more, so they started to collect them. And I can remember when that started. I was guilty as anybody. But what we don't want to forget is when I look at the club today, I see young people come in here for maybe a month or 2 months, and then they're gone. We need to think of what we should be doing so that we keep young people. What you do to tell how American lives work is a good thing. But that's an advancement. We don't teach the green people that come into the club what the club really is all about. It's not junk, it's not trash. We're not in the business to do that. It is all right if you want to exchange things. But what's better in the system is to try and have a meeting that entices the youth of today to join and stay joined. I have been in the club, oh heavens, I don't want to tell you. I go back when things were in the schoolhouse, old schoolhouse, and first time I met Sonny, which I didn't understand. But I was green. I didn't know, yes, I knew all about electronics and everything. But I was green to what the club was about. Nobody told me. Nobody had a written mechanism to say what the club is all about. But as years went by, we saw the camaraderie. We saw the learning experience. I could go to Mike, I could go to the august president over here and ask questions and get answers or get a tutorial. We're losing our young people today actually due to the cell phone that they can play with walking down the street watching porn. And I've seen that. So I know that's what happened. So I don't like personally, I don't like the idea of auctions. It's not a club function. The meeting once a year that we have is a place for that. It's not here. And the other thing that I don't mind, a free table, but not just to clean your basement, but to bring things that people can use. Well, days were old and nights were bold. So what are we going to do? And that's what you guys need to do. I'm old now. No.
Can I talk to this? I'm a charter member, president. The reason we decided to have swap meets, it's in the Constitution, that was the number one thing. We wanted to have swap meets, we didn't want to have people bring junks and sell their pottery, you know, in their house, it had to be related items. We worried about people being dealers, like Sonny Clutter isn't here, but selling their stuff twice. He's a dealer, he's not a collector. We're all dealers, we're all selling. But the instruction is kind of added on as guest speakers. But George is talking about we need guest speakers. The first one was Wilbur German, spoke in Lansing. We're lucky to get some speakers, and that was kind of a sideline. The number one thing was the swap meets, and people sell twice a year, and that's what it was formed, to sell stuff and ask. That was the mission of the club, and we were not having dealers there or advertising. But I know the other stuff has gotten away and selling too much and junk, but that is to sell stuff and have two meetings because that's in the Constitution and it has to be honored. We have to have 2 swap meets a year, 2 at least. We can have 3 or 4 at picnic, but that's added on.
I agree with you.
And the speakers, well, George can speak, losing young people, but that's part of the added speakers in the educational function, So I don't know, I agree.
There's another part of this that I just want to put out there. We started advertising this club on Facebook. We have a Facebook. And that Facebook page drew in, I think, probably about 10, 15 new members. These are younger people that come, and they came specifically for auctions. Because as this stuff becomes rarer, it isn't, most people are not going to want to come in this day and age to learn how to build an AM radio. AM radio it's, I'm glad it's still here, but it's sure not what it was when I was a kid. There was an impetus for 7-year-old Scott Thomas at 1960, 1961, 62 to learn how to build a crystal set, because there was actual content on the radio that I listened to. That content is mostly gone. So people who become interested in radios now are in it for the novelty, the antiquity of it, the oddness of it, because this stuff went to the dumps years ago. When I was a little boy, and I grew up in this little village in Illinois, we had junk day. And once a year, you could put anything that you wanted out on the street and people would come and pick it up. They would
Here.
Well, not really, because I think that a lot of people that
Can be.
have an interest in radio were the guys who went out there and picked through the junk that people were throwing in the 70s. They're the ones who became radio collectors because they went out and saw something that somebody else didn't see and picked it up.
What is the real function of the radio club?
To preserve radios
About the magic.
and educate.
Now, this may involve into TV, and we don't do that.
Preservation of radios and education of radios. Basically what it says in our mission statement.
Right, and I agree with you. I totally agree with you, but cathode ray tubes are a thing of the past. There's no one that's going to sit down and build a solid state set that's of the quality and type that we build today. The type of receiver, radio receivers and TV receivers that are made now are not something that somebody would come in and build from a kit. All that stuff's gone.
One chip.
Right, exactly. Somebody else is gonna do the whole thing.
Okay, I've got a grandson.
Integrated
And
circuit.
he builds a crystal set. And he did it on the computer, all the drawings necessary, and the school teacher gave the prize to somebody that used a toothbrush to do, I don't know what. They didn't recognize what he was doing.
Right.
See, he was learning.
Right.
And that's the beginning of the club. Now, I'm not saying that you go back and do exactly what the founders did to this club. However, what I'm thinking is we have changed 3 or 4 times over the history of my tenure with this club. I loved it. I loved the people. I loved the camaraderie. I loved the information that I was told. I could go to Mike and he'd tell me how a diode worked. I could go to somebody else and they'd tell me, not that I didn't know. I
Yeah.
just wanted to-
You want to see if I do.
Yeah, right. But my point is, in a way, what we're doing today is missing the point of what this club is about. Now, I agree with you that we've got a different take on the youth today. And that's not our fault. It's not what we do that causes this. It's because how they're raised in the school system, which I'm totally mad at. And you have to understand, I was a college professor for 30 years. No way today are the schools getting the impetus to succeed or shown the path on how to do it. And the radio club in the early days was camaraderie and learning about the magic.
Here.
Yeah.
Well, I like to set a point, I think you overlooked it, this pipe set, this the call letter. That's been narrated for history. You can see all the Hallowatts that I have. You know,
Oh,
the
sure.
Longs,
Those are good articles.
Mhm.
Thank you.
and all that. We're gonna have an article, educational, July on Tesla. And that's what you guys saying, great, that's what people look on the internet and the publication, and that's what needs to come alive, is you see the call letter, and it's gonna be Tesla, reprint. So I talked to, Oh, it's a Tesla guy here and he's not here right now. You know, Brian too. He loves it, he loves it.
Yeah.
Tesla's gonna be on the cover of July issue, so. A lot of what you're saying is in the call letters, you know, and you can access that archive, so. I know, we want to come out the body and all that, you get that at the swap meets.
Go ahead, Damon.
Damon, your turn.
I can remember
Just a minute,
when I
George.
brought my, Fairman, not Fairman, the Tesla coil.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, I know, you did
And
that.
I
That was a
brought
great
the whole
feature.
thing, I'd have been scared to death.
So on video, Dave?
Damon.
You know, I was gonna say, I came into the club 26 years ago, 1998. I came in with, Lyle Garcia. And then, the other one that, have the TVs, Jerry. Talbot.
Talbot.
That's when I joined the club. I'm now 49 years old as of last week.
Oh, you're a youngster.
I was a youngster when I joined the club. What caught my attention is glow in the dark. I got a ZF for Christmas and then I got a book on how radios work. And then I talked to Lyle, because my dad knew him. And Lyle's got me in the club. And then I started talking to some of the guys how the radios work. And I looked at the radios and they were cool. And some were plastic, some were wood. And just talking to the different people, and that's kind of what got me in the club, just talking to people. Somewhere to come every month and talk about radios and how they work, how to fix them, even though I couldn't see to fix them. You know, but I learned and I'm still learning. The time that I quit learning is the time I'm dead.
Yeah.
This is what I saw as a youngster in the club, and I was, what, 24 at the time. I think I was the
Nice.
youngest one in the club in 2000.
Yeah,
But
okay.
I got one thing to
the
say
basics I saw
about this.
talking to people.
Okay, I'm sorry, Ben.
Yeah.
I got one thing to say about this, and it kind of goes back to what George was talking about, and I think if there's a way that we can draw a happy median between this, and I think it goes back to the situation that we're looking at with Alan Shattuck, and not to bring up that again, but people do like the auctions, and I can understand that. But I think, and just for instance, like today's meeting, it consumed quite a bit of time. Then we weren't able to do our another section of our AA5 class that we want to do and do the tech talks. And I think that if your auctions and bringing in so much stuff that we end up recycling and all of that kind of stuff for these auctions, we need to maybe have if we're gonna have an auction or have an auction, and darn near every meeting we have an auction. Okay, if we can limit that to maybe a shorter amount of things to auction off and cut that time down or some way or another, so then we can create enough time so then we can have tech talks, because there's so many things that we can have tech talks on, not just AA5 radios, but we can do different radios. We can do crystal sets. We can have a tech talk on how to solder. We can do tech talk on what's the difference between an electrolytic capacitor and a bypass capacitor, and talk about nothing but capacitors for a tech talk, so that everybody has kind of an understanding of how the components work. And we can have tech talks on all kinds of stuff.
Okay, I have to say something.
And we need, I think, to the club, and this is what I've heard from the membership too, not just myself, that people want to learn more and have more tech talks, and then we can still have options, but we need to maybe, if we can cut it back time wise so that we can have both, would be great, you know.
I have to say something in my defense. I feel like I'm being attacked. Okay, one thing.
No, you're not.
Blake said he was not able to come up with didn't have enough time for the tech talk. So it's not because we had the option, it's because Blake was not able to fulfill.
Well, no, I'm not talking about today. Right.
Yeah.
No, I'm
I
talking,
wanted to have this board meeting. I said,
Right.
geez, I don't want to
Right.
you out of your tech
No, no,
talk.
no, no.
He said, I don't want to have a tech talk.
yeah.
Yeah,
Don't
so-
get me wrong, it's not about today specific, I'm talking in general.
Well, we've
You know,
moved it. We've moved that. Yeah, we've moved it. The meeting doesn't start till 9:30. We had it before, but after. We've tried to accommodate every situation.
Radios on the.
Right.
That's why I joined
The
the
one
club.
thing, George,
Longer than most of the people here.
George
Yeah.
said to me. Yeah, I didn't tell that to you.
The
one thing that we gotta look at.
I've been here, we've been here.
We used to.
Yeah,
have-
by far.
Yeah, he's been there.
Art's been the longest.
Like the one I showed today.
Yeah.
Those things are learning.
I agree.
And that's what the
Right.
whole idea of the club was.
I agree.
I want to say one thing too.
Okay, can I just make-
Go ahead.
I agree. The trouble is, we've been asking for trainers, for people to teach and all that stuff. We get zero responses except Blake and Mike do it all the time. Sonny, George used to do it all the time as well, but things are winding down. We need more trainers, but no one is volunteering. No one.
I'll volunteer to it. Okay,
Well, where are they?
We need more than just you. We need more than you to start.
Hey, I'll do a talk of wage draft. You want that?
Yeah.
Absorption?
The only thing that we have to, is that if we conflict with, Blake and Mike, you have to work it out with them.
There was
No, no,
too
that's
many,
Fine, I'm all for having more tech
Yeah,
talks, not just
we're
us.
looking
Well,
for
I mean,
people.
but you
I'm
know,
not
the,
I'm not here to do it all.
the All-American 5 was supposed to be a 1-year program too, though, and it's stretched out to 3 years now, right?
I think the bigger point that Mike was making is not how much the daily meeting works out time-wise. He's talking about the numbers of auctions we're doing in every single meeting and beyond. Last year, here's my record for last year's auction. 12 auctions in 12 months.
Yeah.
This is too much. It's taking away time that we could be using for other things.
But we
Well, you
start
don't.
the auctions and end them before the meeting even starts.
Yes, well, so
You violated a policy we set up last year to limit it to about 15 to 20. This was 33 or 35
33.
items. So you're not even following the policy. And I get zero time to socialize here when I'm back there recording and collecting money. And then I have another 2 or 3 hours of work at home to count all this stuff up and get it deposited and make sure it's tracked correctly. It's the numbers of auctions are overwhelming. This is not what our club is about, to just auction. We need to cut back on it. Pick your frequency that you want, but please, not every single month.
Okay, we will,
What was the vote on when we asked people if they wanted the auctions or not? I mean, we had a monkey survey on it, right?
yeah, they like auctions.
Auctions were like the #1 thing that everybody wanted.
But I
And-
understand, we were relying on Ed to do that. He's
Yeah.
requesting that we should cut that down. There's a couple of reasons why. One, we do not have storage to do this. If the club had its own storage unit like Seattle, we could do that and store it up and have maybe only 1 or 2 options a year. But do we want to pay the $200 a month every month for the rest of our life? And I have decided not, I don't want to spend that kind of money.
Right, but you haven't decided to cut back on the number of donations. You're exceeding our ability to manage it.
That's true. I can't help it. Well, what happens if people